Marvel's darkest heroes, Kamen Rider transformations in American comics. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 1, New York, USA. The annual Metropolitan Museum of Art Charity Gala is being held. As the world's largest charity gala with the largest turnover, this gala attracts the attention of countless journalists and media every year. The people who attended the party were either rich or expensive. Hollywood stars, top models, top internet celebrities, all kinds of rich people, pioneering artists. The ticket for the party alone is as high as $25,000, which is equivalent to the salary of ordinary people for half a year. Look, it's Tom Cruise. The fourth part of Mission Impossible seems to be coming out. Spicy Chicken and Rihanna are here too. Their skirts are so stylish. It's Depp and Amber. They look so affectionate. This is the model couple. Who is that? It turned out to be little Jodie. Can this kind of internet celebrity also participate in this kind of high-end banquet? Luxury cars were parked in front of the art museum. One well-dressed celebrity after another, dressed in fashionable and luxurious clothes, walked through the red carpet covered with fluorescent lights and media reporters. They also managed to generate bursts of excitement and cheers. At this time, a bright silver, high-tech sports car quickly drove up, and at once, it attracted everyone's attention. Oh roar! This is the new R8 sports car series launched by Audi just a few days ago, and I didn't expect someone to drive it. This sports car, even a custom-made version. I bet this is a famous rich man. The focus of the media and the audience suddenly shifted to the shiny sports car. I saw countless mobile phones and cameras pointed at the sports car, and the people who got off the car did not disappoint them. Luxurious clothes, cynical temperament, quite attractive appearance. Tony Stark, a famous billionaire, a genius scientist, a famous philanthropist, a playboy, and the president of Stark Industries, one of the world's top 10 companies. Tony Stark, I love you. A little fangirl shouted frantically. Thank you, I love you too. Seeing that the little fangirl was not bad in appearance and figure, Tony raised his eyebrows at her frivolously, causing another scream. The female companion who came down from the co-pilot was a little jealous, stepped forward and took Tony's arm, declaring sovereignty. Handsomely posed a few times to meet the needs of the media's photos, Tony took a young and beautiful female companion and looked at the road not far away. Hey, who is Tony waiting for? Looking at Tony, who was slow to leave and looked around, many people guessed. The media knows Tony's character. Ordinary people don't say let him wait. Even if they wait for him, they may not have a good face. Who is it that makes him look forward to it? The answer was soon revealed. I saw not far away, a business car slowly drove up. It's an ordinary-looking Lincoln. The car slowly opened, and a tall and handsome Asian man came into everyone's eyes. Oh. It's Asian. It's pretty handsome. What kind of star is he? Fool, don't you even know the president of Tianjin Intelligence, Yan Tianqing? What ignorance. What, he is Yan Tianqing. My God, my family also bought a housekeeping type Shumagia. Hearing these words, many people who did not know the young man covered their mouths in surprise, and their eyes were full of surprise and curiosity when they looked at this Asian youth. If 3 years ago, if you asked which entrepreneur was most sought after by young people, there would be no doubt that there was only one answer, Tony Stark. But now, ask them this question again, and the answer will definitely be one more. Yan Tianqing, nowadays, the most powerful technology company, the world's top 20, the highest profit margin company, the president of Tianjin Intelligence. The history of his rise, like a cool article on the internet, is full of miracles. 3 years ago, Yan Tianqing was still unknown. Tianjin Intelligence, not called by this name. At that time, Tianjin Intelligence, also known as Denver Machinery, was a small machinery company. The founders were Denver Otto and his wife, Defuse Otto. Denver Machinery is mediocre and not famous, mainly making small machinery and equipment, with only a dozen employees and an annual profit of only $1 million. The turning point happened on that night, 3 years ago. After attending a public welfare party, Mr. and Mrs. Otto were shot to death by gangsters as they rushed to the parking lot. Their adopted son of Chinese descent, Yan Tianqing, thus inherited Denver Machinery. At this time, Yan Tianqing had just graduated from university, and at the age of 23, he received 2 doctorates in mathematics and computer science from Princeton. As soon as he took over Denver Machinery, he directly violated business taboos and renamed the company Tianjin Intelligence. And a drastic reform began. For example, the advantages of Denver Machinery were abandoned and a new intelligent robot was manufactured. This intelligent robot, once launched, became popular all over the world. It has been sought after and loved by countless people. Its proper name, Human Gear, has also become famous all over the world. Episode 2. This intelligent robot called Shumagia has a performance that exceeds the performance of any robot at that time, thousands or even 10,000 times. On both sides of their ears, there are exclusive Shumagia modules. This kind of module, through real-time analysis, can quickly help them learn various techniques. Construction, repair, cooking, service, ordinary civilian functions can basically be learned. Shumagia can do almost anything. It is an epic-making intelligent robot. Although the initial price was as high as 100,000 US dollars, but only 1 year after its launch, more than 600,000 units were sold all over the world. Tianjin Intelligence earns crazy. Taking advantage of this trend, Tianjin Intelligence struck while the iron was hot, and a year later, launched a unique satellite equipped with advanced intelligent programs. The name is S.H.I.E.L.D. Then, at the beginning of this year, the second generation of S.H.I.E.L.D was launched. This generation of S.H.I.E.L.D has added top-level simulated skin, and the feel and appearance are exactly the same as real people. The uncanny valley effect is effectively eliminated, and the audience becomes larger. In addition, the second generation of S.H.I.E.L.D's intelligent program has been upgraded to be more versatile and can be specially customized. Even in special areas such as bomb defusal, detonation, and rescue, they can work perfectly, so much so that in special fields such as medical care, public security, and the military, all kinds of Zyumagia have been customized in large quantities. Even, due to the setting of the second-level secrecy procedure, the security of S.H.I.E.L.D is higher. After expert determination, there is almost no possibility of leaking privacy. This led to the start of a second sales frenzy for S.H.I.E.L.D. There are even many people who buy back a S.H.I.E.L.D Atom Mate. In addition, the global economy has improved in recent years. Thereupon, it was only 5 years before and after. Tianjin has turned a small company with more than a dozen people and an annual profit of 1 million into a behemoth with more than 100,000 employees and an annual income of hundreds of billions of dollars. Tianjin Intelligence, since then, has been on an equal footing with Walmart, Google, Apple, Stark Industries, etc. And Tianjin has also become a young representative who has been admired by countless people like Tony Stark. The two have since been called American Gemini. When they said they invited you and said yes, I didn't believe it. Tony Stark took his female companion and came to Tianjin. The conversation between the two genius presidents immediately caused the media to quickly take pictures. Oh? Why? Think I won't participate in these boring activities? Tianjin smiled gently. You use the word boring to describe it. What else do you need me to say? Tony gave Tianjin a look and continued. Look at those false smiles, the unintended compliments, and the nasty pleasantries. Oh my god, all of them are ugly. Right, Tony held Tianjin's back, but there are also worthy of them. Tony wrapped his other hand around the female companion beside him. Aren't these girls great? But I already have a female companion. Tianjin smiled slightly and gently clapped his hands. Yeetzy, come out. As soon as his voice fell, he was in the eyes of many curious people. A figure came down again from the plane Lincoln. A dignified and elegant short-haired female secretary with a delicate appearance walked into full view. You have a good eye. No, this is a S.H.I.E.L.D? Tony's words of praise came to an abrupt end. The S.H.I.E.L.D module next to Izzy's ear came into view. Oh my god, you actually got a S.H.I.E.L.D girlfriend too? Tony's expression as he looked at Tianjin was suddenly a little strange. What nonsense, Izzy is just my personal secretary. Tianjin argued, I should also have a secretary. Leave it to others, it is better to cultivate a S.H.I.E.L.D who can do everything. Is it really just as simple as S.H.I.E.L.D? Tony looked at him suspiciously. Of course. Tian was open-minded. In this way, the two talked and laughed, hooked up and walked to the charity venue, leaving Tony's female companion and Izzy behind, staring wide-eyed, and then following with small broken steps. I can't imagine it. One day Mr. Yen will also attend this kind of party. Looking at the back left by the two, a reporter sighed strongly after taking a photo. Yes. The president of Tianjin Intelligent has always been known for his mysterious and technological house, and rarely appears in public. The wait is well worth it. Tony Stark and Tianjin appeared at the charity gala together, and the relationship between the two was actually so good. I believe that this news will grab the headlines of major media tomorrow. The party passed. Times Square, New York. Two skyscrapers stand against each other. One is the Stark Building, which is printed with Stark Industrial, modern industrial style, and technology style. The other is a technological, futuristic Tianjin Fortress that combines a huge castle and a spaceship. Tianjin Fortress is the headquarters building of Tianjin Intelligent Group. At this time, on the top floor of the building, in front of the huge transparent floor-to-ceiling windows, Tianjin looked down on half of New York. The face is flat and the eyes are calm. Episode 3. 3 years. Tianjin has crossed over for 3 years. Originally, he was a toy manufacturer in Huagua, acting as an agent for Kamen Rider toys, produced by Toei Country. Unexpectedly, when attending a commercial event, he stepped on the air and fell from a platform more than 2 meters high. When he woke up again, he found himself in the United States, where he had become the only adopted son of an American couple. The good news is that the couple started a company. It's small, but it can make millions of dollars a year, enough for him to live a rich life. Moreover, the original owner was also very contentious. He received 2 PhD degrees in mathematics and computer science from Princeton, professional or promising artificial intelligence. Having inherited the memory and body of the original master, he also possessed such talents. Originally, he wanted to make his family's business bigger and stronger. However, within a few days, he suddenly saw this stark building in the center of New York City. At the City Museum, I met Captain America in a tights and a shield. After some searching, he established a fact. He's crossed into the world of Marvel. Moreover, the timeline and worldview do not know which universe it is. This made him suddenly shocked. Everyone knows how dangerous the Marvel universe is. Where is there any security in such a world? Thereupon, he made up his mind that as long as the world is not destroyed, he will never come out. Anyway, the sky is falling, and there are superheroes on top. Just didn't think of it. It took less than 2 weeks. His adoptive parents, the amiable Denvers, after attending a public welfare event, when I go home in the evening, in a small alley, shot by several gangsters, the family company fell to him. But a newly graduated doctoral student masters a golden rooster that can steadily lay golden eggs every year. It makes many people blush. The funeral of the Denvers ended not only but also the change of ownership. Threats, assassinations, kidnappings, and other vicious events came towards Yan Tianqin one after another. Fortunately, just when he died in 9 lifetimes, his golden finger finally came. A system called Kamen Rider Chronicles activated in his mind. He is no stranger to this system. This Kamen Rider Chronicle is a staple of his toy factory. A Kamen Rider game electronic toy that integrates all Kamen Rider systems and manufactures them. In a new open world, cast various products from the Kamen Rider world and have various effects on this world. Use this to get the game's exclusive currency, the impact factor. According to the rules of the system, if you affect ordinary people or ordinary events, you can obtain ordinary impact factors. Special impact factors can be obtained for special tasks or special events. Normal impact factor can be used to redeem normal items or conduct normal prize pool draws. Special impact factors can be used to unlock the Kamen Rider World Gallery or extract special items. Moreover, every hour that passes in the game world consumes a normal impact factor. Of course, you can also consume a special impact factor and spend half a day in the game world. But Yan Tianqin also determined one thing after verification. He crossed over and survived in the Marvel world, which also consumes the impact factor. It's the same as in the game. An ordinary impact factor lives for an hour, and a special impact factor lives for 1 day. However, each account initially has only 1,000 normal impact factors. That's about 41 days. Anyone who hears that there are only 41 days left in their life balance will be anxious. Fortunately, the Kamen Rider Chronicles system, according to the design, will give out a free starter pack. Yan Tianqin was lucky, and the world of Kamen Rider 01 was unlocked in the newbie pack. Unlock the pack to get junior Shumagia manufacturing techniques and factory. You know, Yan Tian's major is to learn artificial intelligence. It's not unusual at all to come up with Shumagia. With the power of Shumagia, Yan Tianqin not only swept away the threats around him, but also opened the prosperous world of artificial intelligence robots. Shumagia, in this era, set off a frenzy. He has also become an idol in the hearts of many people, and even a god. President, your red wine, wake up. Turning his head, the little secretary Izzy came over respectfully with a glass of red wine. The wine is just right. Izzy is great. Yan Tianqin praised his little secretary Izzy, who exchanged ordinary impact factors last month. She is the most expensive among the Shumagiari. That's 50,000 ordinary impact factors. It's actually about the same as the satellite Zaya. But with her, Yan Tianqin's life is indeed much more convenient. Some things in the company she handled very well. That's right. Life Foundation, how is Amazon cell research? Yan Tianqin turned his words and asked. Amazon cells were obtained by him using ordinary impact factors. Originally, there was only a small test tube, but he cultivated quite a few. But, to his disappointment, the potential of Amazon cells is not great. So, he used the means to go out and prepare to earn the impact factor. Unexpectedly, he was taken by the villain of Venom 1, Carlton Drake of the Life Foundation, and began a secret research. Episode 4. The Life Foundation has bred the first Amazon creatures. As we expected, these native Amazon have big flaws and can't be used. Izzy replied obediently. They already have plans for human experiments. Everything is in your judgment. Good. Here, it's up to you and the extinction to keep an eye on it. Yan Tian nodded with satisfaction. Soon, people all over the world will know that the Life Foundation has created monsters that harm the world, and I am the one who saved the world. Izzy did things, he was relieved. As for extinguishing, he also exchanged it with ordinary impact factors. Now he is working as a security captain at the Life Foundation. At the same time, it is also his eyeliner. The plan for the Life Foundation was set by him, mainly because the Life Foundation is not a good thing, so they can be counted as eliminating harm for the people. The insignificant reason is because the Life Foundation has many patents that make him dazzling, and he can make a lot of money by doing it. By the way, President, there is one more thing. Izzy blinked his big eyes twice. What's the matter? The murderer of the president's parents has a clue. Click. The red wine glass was crushed on Yan Tianqin's hand, and blood and red wine mixed and flowed. In which village? Yan Tian's face suddenly turned vicious. Inheriting the memory and body of the original owner also inherits the emotions of the original owner. The adoptive parents treated him really well, and did not dislike him because he was an adopted son, and the relationship between the two parties was very good. His adoptive parents were shot, and he has always had sadness in his heart. After the company grew, he searched for the whereabouts of the murderer. Now, there's finally news. It's them. A screen was projected in Izzy's eyes. The information of the two people was displayed in front of Yan Tianqin's eyes. On the night your parents were killed, these two men were seen walking out of that alley at the same time. And, the next day, the two traded a precious leather bag, which was your adoptive mother's. It seems that they are them. Yan Tianqin's eyes narrowed, and the cold light flickered. However, there is not enough evidence to arrest them. Izzy blinked. Evidence? That's what the police want. I don't need to. Yan Tian's heart moved, and the system panel was summoned in front of him. Soon, a golden, USB stick-like thing fell into his hand. Utopian memory. Gaia memory used by the big boss of the Kamen Rider W drama version. Once known as the King of Memory, this is also one of the few good things that ordinary impact factors draw from. President, are you? Gaia memory will hurt you. Izzy suddenly looked worried. No need to rush. I have this. Yan Tianqin took out another Earth drive from the system. This is given with the Utopian memory. Using the Earth drive to drive Gaia memory can effectively reduce the negative impact of memory. And, Utopian memory, and his fit rate is as high as 99%. The damage to his body is very small, very small. Although he hasn't tried it yet, the system will not lie to him. Strap the Earth drive around your waist. Press the switch of the Utopian memory. Utopia/Utopia. The memory rings through nice sounds. It then turns into a stream of light and inserts it into the socket of the Earth drive. Endless power poured into Yan Tianqin's body. His figure began to change dramatically. Purple-blue lightning and storms began to envelop Yan Tianqin. Wait until the lightning and storm are gone. An unusually tall and muscular figure with half of his face and body covered with metal armor, tattooed with a mysterious pattern like bronze, wearing a golden-red cloak, and holding a cane replaced Yan Tianqin's original appearance. Is this the power of Utopia, the king of memories? Yan Tianqin shook his fist. Head, an unprecedented sensation appeared in the body, as if he is the king of the whole world. A little familiar with the ability of utopian doped bodies, Yan Tianqin was ready to strike. Without further ado. That's it. Remembering the appearance and residence area of the two murderers, Yan Tianqin's figure instantly disappeared on the top floor of the Tianqin Intelligent Fortress. A few seconds later, he appeared in the neighborhood where the killer lived. This neighborhood, it is the main gathering place of blacks at the bottom. Meantime, there are also many small gangs that have set up bases here. The whole neighborhood, it's full of drugs, guns, and violence. Find one house at a time. Yan Tianqin landed on the ground, descending on earth like a god. So many houses, he is ready to look for them one by one. Anyway, what he has is patience and time. What are you? But there are people in front of me who do not think so. Watching someone suddenly enter his house is still a stranger. The two gangsters immediately pulled out their guns and pointed them at him. Stupid. Purple-red lightning struck them in an instant. The black bodies of the two became charred black and smoked. Already acquaintances. You successfully influenced two gang members and obtained one normal impact factor. It turns out that killing people also has an impact factor? It's just not much. Yan Tianqin pouted. An ordinary impact factor, plugging between teeth is not enough. He kept going. It's not. One house after another was broken into by him, and the base of the gang was patrolled by him. But the murderer of his adoptive parents was not found. And his intrusive behavior has attracted the attention of many people. Fark, someone broke in. Get me all guns ready. The boss of a small gang listened to the movement downstairs and immediately issued a warning to his subordinates. At the moment when Yan Tianqin broke in, he was greeted by bullets that slashed his head and covered his face. A mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. In the horrified eyes of the gangsters in front of him, the bullets all stopped in an inch in front of Yan Tianqin. It's like there is an invisible wall. Block them. Yan Tian's heart moved. All bullets are returned immediately. Episode 5. You are the devil. The boss of the small gang was lying in a pool of blood, with blood foam in his mouth, looking at Yan Tianqin in horror. No, I am God. Yan Tianqin faced the ceiling and raised his head proudly. Incredible, high above. The boss of the small gang, in fear and pain, was cut off. Yan Tianqin turned around and walked out of this room. In front of him, more gangsters have gathered. Knowing that there is an enemy invasion, these small gangs will also unite to the outside world. Looking at the gangsters who were attacking him, Yan Tianqin shook his head with disdain and raised the scepter in his hand. These social garbage, damn it. What sound? Yan Tianqin was killing freely. 2 streets away, the dense gunfire surprised the residents of Hell's Kitchen. And in some cheap rental house, a beautiful high school girl with black hair frowned. The ears seemed to hear an unusual sound in the midst of a crowd of gunshots. I have to go check it out. The girl quickly put on her clothes and shoes. Jessica, what are you going to do? The adoptive mother's voice came from the kitchen. Mom, I'll go buy some bread for tomorrow morning. Jessica rushed out of the room without looking back. She came to the roof, her sneakers on her toes and her slender thighs straight. The agile body actually soared into the sky and rushed towards the neighborhood where the gunshots were chaotic, not far away. Damn it, run, it's a monster. Boss, help, help. The fighting situation in the neighborhood, of course, is to one side. In the face of utopian doping, which can be called a powerful combat power in Marvel, a few small gangsters with guns are naturally not worth mentioning. The reason why the other party was able to last so long was because Yan Tianqin was familiarizing himself with the ability of the utopian memory. Every gangster is his best training material. It lasted almost half an hour. Yan Tianqin's use of utopian memories is also becoming more and more handy. The person in front of him can no longer play the role of training. End it. He raised his scepter high. Stop. The moment purple lightning and storm strike, a female voice came. Yan Tianqin didn't care, and the scepter landed. Thunder and storm immediately swept the surrounding gang members into it. Whether the other person is in the room or in the corridor and vehicle, purple lightning struck them mercilessly, immediately turned into a scorched corpse as black as Kobe. Damn it. Only then did Yan Tianqin turn his head and look at the young girl flying down from the roof. She was fast, and her fist struck her body in the blink of an eye. As for the injury, Yan Tianqin's body didn't shake for a moment. In Jessica's shocked gaze, Yan Tianqin pinched her throat. Who are you? Yan Tianqin looked at her with interest. The other party is obviously a superpower. The appearance is not particularly beautiful, but it can be regarded as good, beyond ordinary people. Coupled with a special heroic spirit, it is easy to make people feel good. But this did not prevent Yan Tianqin from killing her. Those who hinder him, he will kill mercilessly. Jessica was speechless. Grabbed by this big hand by the throat, she was already about to suffocate. The power she had just gained so proud of was now useless. It can only struggle in vain. It's like a cute new person who has just come out of the novice village and has encountered a world boss. That sense of powerlessness, that sense of fear, it suddenly occupied her consciousness like a tide. A deep shadow suddenly appeared in her heart. Don't say yes? Then kill you. Yan Tianqin gently hooked the corners of his mouth. The hand began to exert force, ready to completely cut off this sudden superpower. You successfully influenced the treasure girl Jessica Jones, and you get 100 special impact factors. The sudden prompt from the system made Yan Tian's eyes brighten. Oh? It turned out to be Jessica Jones. He was happy and looked at each other with interest. Jessica, now is obviously still very young, maybe just in college or still in high school. It has not yet been devastated by the purple people. In other words, it is still brand new and unworn. So, how many special impact factors can you get by killing her? Yan Tianqin suddenly wanted to do an experiment. You successfully influenced the treasure girl Jessica Jones, and you get 100 special impact factors. You successfully influenced the treasure girl Jessica Jones, and you get 100 special impact factors. Feeling Yan Tianqin's undisguised killing intent, Jessica Jones closed desperately. Eyes closed, fear was written all over his face. For a time, she was full of emotions. Regret your recklessness, but not your bravery. Still a big customer. Watch Jessica provide special impact factors, one after another. Yan Tianqin was a little reluctant to kill her for a while. However, the atmosphere has caused this. Don't kill her, excuse me? Yan Tianqin slowed down the speed of the force on his hand. Boom. Just as he was thinking, the wall around him suddenly cracked. A tall, swarthy figure slammed into him. Episode 6. Golden Opportunity. Seeing someone attacking him, Yan Tian's heart flashed with joy. Just give the treasure girl Jessica a step down. Let her give herself more impact factors. At the moment when the figure bumps into itself, Yan Tianqin immediately seemed to be affected, and Xiongwu's body shook. Squeezed Jessica's palm to loosen it. Jessica immediately jumped at the chance. She mustered all her remaining strength. A kick on Yan Tianqin's chest. The whole person finally broke free of Yan Tianqin's hand and flew into the air. Ahem, thank you, big black one. Jessica landed on a roof, coughing incessantly, wiping her tears and saliva. You're welcome. The figure rushing out in front of him was a tall and strong black man. Facing Jessica's thanks, he waved his hand, and then continued to hit Yan Tianqin fiercely. Who gave you courage? But in his shocked gaze, his body was actually blocked by one hand of the golden monster in front of him. Boom! Countless lightning bolts struck him in an instant. His tall body suddenly flew out upside down, smashing through more than a dozen walls, before stopping. Big black. Jessica looked at the black man with cracked skin and blood all over his body, exclaimed, and immediately wanted to fly down to contain Yan Tianqin, but with Yan Tianqin's head gently to one side. Looking at the eyes under the golden armor, Jessica somehow immediately lost the courage to fight. Watching Yan Tianqin walk in front of the tall black man, unexpectedly, you can take this blow from me without dying. Yan Tianqin praised. At the same time, I was a little angry. You've been beaten like this, how come you haven't been affected yet? The purple lightning reappeared, like a farmer's long whip. The blow hit the mutilated body of the black man in front of him. The blacks immediately fell apart, their internal organs and flesh and blood flew everywhere. You successfully influenced the magic hero Luke Cage and obtained 800 special impact factors. So it's you. Yan Tianqin suddenly realized. The slightly young black man in front of him turned out to be the famous god Luke Cage, a major member of the League of Defenders and the future husband of Jessica Jones. Not only that, still a miser. There are only 800 special impact factors in the Death Capital, which is not at all comparable to the treasure girl Jessica. Moreover, the nickname of this god hero is also somewhat untrue. How come a few whips go down and fall apart? Your invulnerable body is too watery. Nope. Looking at Luke Cage's tragic situation, Jessica cried out bitterly. Did you actually watch the lifesaver die in front of your eyes? She gritted her teeth, wanting to rush down and fight the golden monster. But as long as you look at each other, courage immediately disappears into the body. It's so powerless. The other party was too strong, and she didn't feel a glimmer of hope of winning. Only despair. Looking at Jessica, who was afraid to step forward, Yan Tian nodded with satisfaction. The treasure girl is still quite knowledgeable, but he also had other troubles at this time. The two black men who killed his adoptive parents could not find a figure. He can't keep looking for it, right? In less than 2 hours, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage came. If you look for it again, won't Daredevil, the Punisher, S.H.I.E.L.D all arrive? Are you going to kill them all? Doesn't that make him look like a murderer? No way. I don't want to either. Yan Tianqin sighed, and a compassionate look appeared on his face. He soared into the sky and came to the middle of the block, scepter in one fell swoop. Countless lightning, tornadoes, and storms gathered. What's that? This scene was too high profile, and it immediately attracted many people to watch. People took out their mobile phones one after another, shouting and watching the natural disasters that suddenly gathered in the sky. Destroy it. In the horrified eyes of everyone, the entire block in front of you, 3 or 4 streets, dozens of buildings, thousands of people. As if losing gravity, they floated into the air. Oops, he's asking for it. A bad thought crossed Jessica's mind. Goodbye. Thunder, tornadoes, and storms quickly pressed towards the neighborhood in midair. It then fully blends in with the block, leaving countless buildings in pieces. Then, the entire neighborhood fell apart like a falling meteor, smashed to the ground. Boom. The mountains are shaken. Omaga, is it my eyes? God, this can't be. Is someone going to destroy the world? May God bless the people in the neighborhood. Amen. The onlookers closed their eyes, but the mobile phones in their hands continued to record videos cruelly. Jessica bit her lower lip and risked flying into the rapidly smashing ruined block. The situation was urgent, and she could only save a small number of children. As for the rest, damn fellow. He's so vicious. The smoke and dust dissipated, looking at the neighborhood in front of me that was completely in ruins. Jessica gasped. The tragic situation ahead of us goes without saying. Not even the house is complete, let alone a complete person. Episode 7. Who the hell are you, and why are you doing this? A woman with black-framed glasses arrived from a distance, with a press card around her neck. She gritted her teeth, sadness and anger writing all over her face. Pad your feet and hold your head high, glaring at Yan Tianqin, who had become a utopian doped body in the air. What a good question. Yan Tianqin looked down at her from above. If he can't find the murderer, then he will kill everyone present, and the murderer will always be inside. Do gods also need a reason to play with mortals? Haha, arrogant laughter filled the whole world. A storm gradually enveloped him. By the time the storm disappeared, he was long gone. Shoo, so sour. The ability isolates all signals and avoids monitoring. Yan Tianqin returned to the top office of the Tianqin Intelligent Fortress, newly recovered. There were bursts of soreness all over the body. Izzy quickly called 2 service Shuma to massage him, while enjoying the service. While turning on the phone, sure enough, in less than half an hour, the damage I just caused has spread on the internet, and gradually boiled, becoming the first hot search of major media. The Kardashian sisters' new love is crushed by their own hot search. Mysterious creatures raid New York. A street in Hell's Kitchen is uprooted, killing thousands. Image. Are there really gods in the world? Mysterious creatures claim to be gods and wantonly kill humans. Shock the world, the gods send down their anger. Various headlines grab the hot search lists of major media. The comments at the bottom of the hot search are also very interesting. Damn gods, it will definitely withstand the wrath from the United States. 200,000 likes, 20,000 steps. Oh my god. Is this a promotional video for a certain movie? Are there really gods in the world? 100,000 likes. They must have done something wrong, these damned blacks. They blaspheme every day, and now they are getting retribution. 100,000 likes, 100,000 steps. Reviews have various theories, and Yan Tianqin was also pleasantly surprised to find that his ordinary impact factor had increased by more than 20,000. Summon the system panel. Host, Yan Tianqin. Age, 23. Kamen Rider Illustrated Book. Kamen Rider 01 has been unlocked. Equipment: Kamen Rider 01 Drive, High Leap Locust Program Sublimation Key, Utopia Memory. Ability: None. Slaves: Izzy, Z Satellite, Kamen Rider Destroy. Common Impact Factor: 92,498. Special Impact Factor: 2,200. Ordinary Impact Factors: there are already quite a few. However, the normal impact factor can only draw some items in the Kamen Rider world, and night-related items cannot be drawn. There are still 2,008 special impact factors left. Yan Tianqin sighed. It was difficult to obtain special impact factors, and it took 3 years for me to save such a little. Unlocking a Kamen Rider booklet requires 5,000 special impact factors, and it is still randomly unlocked. Kamen Rider worlds such as Time King and Build may be opened with top combat power. Kamen Riders such as Zo and G who may also be able to drive out with combat strength and crotch. It's all about luck. Mr. Tony Stark, famous billionaire, genius inventor, playboy and president of Stark Industries, is missing in the Middle East. After having dinner with Yan Tianqin, president of Tianqin Intelligence, the day before yesterday, Mr. Stark was invited by the military to go to the Middle East to display the latest weapons. On the way back, the escort team was attacked by unknown local armed forces, and the escorting soldiers were determined to be all dead, and Mr. Stark was missing. At this time, a news suddenly played on the TV. Yan Tianqin's eyes immediately lit up. Stark's accident in the Middle East means the beginning of the plot of Iron Man. The official plot of the Marvel Universe has also begun. Izzy, buy me Stark Industries stock. How much? How much to buy? Yan Tianqin ordered Izzy. Stark Industries' share price will definitely decrease after this happens. Such money, not earned in vain. After Izzy left, Yan Tianqin overlooked New York. What a wonderful city, so wondering. Be its master, calm down for a while and slowly restrain your ambitions. Yan Tianqin decided to draw a prize to suppress the shock. The normal impact factor is 1001 draw. He decided to try 10 times. 10,000 ordinary impact factors disappear from stock. 10 items appeared in front of his eyes. There are regular coins from the world of Kamen Rider Oz. There are disc beasts from Kamen Rider Hibiki Ghost World. There are magic rings in the Kamen Rider Wizard World. There's even a pair of Eiji Hino's panties. It's basically useless to him now. However, there is also a good thing. Nazca memory. For whom? Yan Tianqin looked at his hand. A golden memory suddenly appeared with an N printed on it. It is the NASCAR memory used by Kamen Rider W's brother-in-law. The suitability with him is only 43%, which is not suitable. He needed someone to fit in. Soon, he had an idea. A valley rarely visited. In the valley, birds are singing and verdant. A military jeep suddenly stopped at the mouth of the valley. The tree on the left suddenly cracked, revealing the surveillance and electronic instruments inside. Scan the vehicle in front of you. The ground on the side actually slowly rose, revealing a passage made of stainless steel. Four heavily armed soldiers saluted the men in the jeep. Let's go, Natasha. The black bald man sitting in the back seat with only one eye nodded. The red-haired sunglasses woman in the driver's seat immediately stepped on the accelerator dashingly. The jeep goes straight into the underground road. Shortly after the vehicle enters, 4 soldiers followed into the underground road. The entrance to the road immediately closed slowly. The valley seems to be back to normal. Episode 8. I've watched all this video. In the large conference room, Nick Fury put the utopian dope transformed into Yan Tianqin in the scene of Hell's Kitchen making a big move. I've seen it. The conference room was full of talents and nodded one after another. So tell me, if you were there, how would you stop him? Nick Fury's only remaining eye was solemn, looking at the many subordinates he called the elite. This is impossible. The other party's capabilities are completely beyond our range of coping. A level 8 agent shook his head directly. He also watched the video of utopian doping. To say that the other party is a god may be an exaggeration, but it is true that human conventional weapons cannot deal with it. Not afraid of firearms, fast and able to fly, can summon natural disasters such as lightning and storms. How do ordinary people fight him? None of the fighter fleets are necessarily his opponents. What about you? Hearing his words, Nick Fury was not annoyed, but continued to ask the others. All silent. Good. Nick Fury was unimpressed and continued, then what if he comes out to do evil again? Are we going to watch him continue to kill? Maybe it can be handed over to the military. A level 7 agent said, everything is handed over to the military, so what is the meaning of our existence? Nick Fury slammed the table, so what should we do? You can't rush to die in vain, right? In the face of this situation, we have only one solution. We also form a team of people with special abilities. Nick Fury's warm gaze swept over everyone's faces. I call it, Superhero Squad Project. A factory in Hell's Kitchen. On the 3rd floor of the factory, in an office. Mrs. Gao, they are all here. An Asian man dressed as a guard said to the old lady in front of him. He bent over with a respectful look. Because this amiable-looking old lady in front of her is one of the 5 leaders of the unscrupulous hand union, Mrs. Gao. Have you guys confirmed it? Mrs. Gao's eyes narrowed slightly, with a smile, looked at the 6 people in front of her, and said, you should know my rules. I'm not like a fast food restaurant, you can go if you want. Several men lowered their heads and were silent for a while. They are all of Chinese descent, and most of them are smuggled in. I thought that when I came to the United States, I lived a fairy life. Unexpectedly, they were difficult to find the lowest level jobs, and food and housing became a problem. More importantly, they still dragged their families and mouths. Seeing that his wife and children were going to starve to death from illness, they were forced to choose to come to Mrs. Gao's drug factory to hide and transport drugs to the human body. Here, they will exchange a pair of eyes for 200,000 US dollars. Good. Mrs. Gao lightly tapped the ground with her crutch. A ninja-dressed man suddenly appeared in the office with several bottles of potion, frightening several men. This potion will only blind your eyes. Drinking it means a contract with me. Halfway through speaking, Mrs. Gao's face quickly turned cold. Humph, this damn blind cat, here it is again. She no longer cared about this group of people, her old body was extremely fast, and she appeared on the first floor of the factory in the blink of an eye. Front, a hand-joined ninja disguised as a guard in the factory held a weapon and surrounded a figure. He wears a red tights and has two small horns on his head. The eyes are partially covered and do not seem to see the road by the eyes. Holding two short sticks in his hands, with a demonic pattern. It is the daredevil who has recently become famous and scared countless gangsters. You dead blind man, you are looking for trouble again. Mrs. Gao gritted her teeth. She knew that Daredevil could find his hidden factory, which meant that the factory was no longer safe and had to be made in a different place. A series of things, very troublesome. Kill him, angry Mrs. Gao ordered. The ninjas instantly rose in droves. Daredevil took a deep breath and began to compete with these ninjas, with his unusual senses. There were so many ninjas in this factory, which he did not expect. At first, he thought that this was just a small den of the Hand Alliance, but he did not expect it to be a large stronghold. Surrounded by so many people at once, with his strength, he could only fall to the downwind. And it didn't take long for him to be injured. Kill him. Looking at the daredevil who could not escape, Mrs. Gao said cruelly. A dozen ninjas jumped up, armed with katanas, and slashed towards Daredevil's vital part. Daredevil was pinned down by two ninjas and dodged the first few knives, but the last few knives looked like they were about to fall on him. Is it? I will die here. Daredevil was very unwilling. In perception, these swords, the next second, will fall on him. Swish. Swish. A sound of breaking the air came. The expected pain and death did not come. Daredevil looked up in amazement. Although he couldn't see it, he clearly felt that a tall figure was blocking in front of him. Who is it? According to perception, the other person does not seem to be an individual. Episode 9. Who are you, sacred? Seeing this tall figure that suddenly appeared and solved her subordinates like autumn breeze sweeping away leaves, Mrs. Gao was shocked and angry, and questioned sharply. The figure in front of him is blue all over and has many mysterious patterns on his body. On his head, he wears a bronze-like delicate and ornate mask, wearing a cape with bells and whistles and elegant at the back. Me? I'm just a kind person passing by. Nazca Doped looked at Daredevil beside him, and then at the people in the congregation. A group of well-trained killers who bully a blind man. You Americans, the quality is so poor. Nazca Dopin shook his head. Mrs. Gao's eyes narrowed. Listen to your accent. Are you from Huagua? Exactly. Nazca Dopin nodded. Did you use some secret method to become like this? Mrs. Gao continued to ask. She was a little jealous in her heart. The other party has changed from a person to this, which is obviously not something that ordinary means can do. In her impression, there are very few places where such means exist. Kunlun is one of those places. Secret method? No, it's just a Gaia memory. Nazca scoffed, as if laughing at Madame Gao's ignorance. Gaia memory? Mrs. Gao frowned, obviously not having heard of it. Yes. Gaia memory is a special item made by sealing a special container with various memories on Earth in a special program. Nazca Doped looked proud. In the world, only we museums can make it. You successfully influenced Mrs. Gao and obtained 100 special impact factors. You successfully influenced Daredevil Mount Murkdo. Get 100 special impact factors. What is the museum? The museum is an organization that shelters and destroys undead, or if Enoch, demon rays, and other special creatures, by creating Gaia memories and then adapting personnel. Nazca Doped proudly introduced. Are there any of these creatures in New York that you were talking about? I'm not sure. Then what are you going to do? Mrs. Gao gritted her teeth. The other party actually takes the dog and is nosy. I came to New York to catch the traitors of the museum. Half a month ago, he took a box of experimental Gaia memories and judged the museum. 3 days ago, he wreaked havoc with you. Nazca Doped clenched his fist. His wanting use of Gaia memory to harm humans violates the purpose of the museum. I will definitely catch him. You successfully influenced Mrs. Gao and obtained 100 special impact factors. You successfully influenced Daredevil Mount Murkdo. Get 100 special impact factors. 3 days ago. Havoc. Are you saying that God? Madame Gao and Daredevil were shocked together. 3 days ago, a golden mysterious creature claimed to be a god and destroyed an entire block of Hell's Kitchen. Thousands of people died directly, and tens of thousands of people were affected, which can be described as extremely bad. After watching that video, they were all convinced that the other party was a god at a certain moment. Now listening to this mysterious person, is it actually a human who used a certain item? For a time, everyone present became a little curious about Gaia's memory. He's not a god. He's just a cowardly traitor, a retreating mongrel. Wait for it, soon, he will be arrested, Nazca Doped said confidently. Then, you came to New York to catch traitors, why did you stir up our affairs? Mrs. Gao asked rhetorically. A bunch of you, bully a blind man. Isn't this moral turpitude? I can't stand it even if I'm a Chinese. Nazca pointed angrily at Daredevil. You see, what a pitiful, weak handicapped man, you actually want to kill him. In Huagua, this kind of thing is absolutely impossible. Hearing these words, not only Mrs. Gao, but Daredevil himself, was speechless. When did he become a weak and pitiful blind man? Well, in that case, you take him with you. We will not pursue it anymore. Mrs. Gao was silent for a while and made a decision. Since the other party dares to capture that mighty monster alone, then his strength must be almost the same. It is difficult to be his opponent. In this way, it is better to take a step back and provoke a strong enemy less. Do you agree? Nazca Doped looked at Daredevil. What can Daredevil say? I almost died in the hands of the Hand Union just now. He nodded in agreement. So, just like that, Princess Nazca Doped picked up Daredevil. The tip of his foot lightly touched the ground, and his body instantly flew hundreds of meters into the air, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Seeing this scene, Mrs. Gao's pupils shrank, and she secretly said that she was lucky. Fortunately, I didn't really clash with the other party. With such strength, I can't resist it at all. Within 2 hours, everything was removed. Giving orders to her subordinates, Mrs. Gao also slowly left the factory. She wasn't too annoyed. For her, making money is always secondary. Immortality is the first place. Episode 10. This gentleman, I just arrived in New York. Which hospital is better? In the sky, the Nazca Doped body held the injured Daredevil and flew quickly. No, I'm not going to the hospital. Daredevil shook his head slightly, and his tone was slightly weak. Please send me to a friend's house. Your friend is a doctor? No, she's a nurse. The injuries on your body are not something a nurse can handle. Nazca Doping said. But she can. Well, where's the location? Knock knock. There was a knock on the door. Claire Temple in the room stood up vigilantly. The midnight knock in Hell's Kitchen is not a good thing most of the time. Picking up a dinner knife in the kitchen, Claire cautiously came to the door. Through the cat's eye, the situation outside made her exclaim and quickly opened the door. Matt, what's wrong with you? In front of him, the famous Daredevil Matt Mercer is covered in blood and is being supported by an Asian man. Oh my god. If you arrive a little later, you will bleed to death. Claire hurriedly gave Daredevil some emergency treatment to stop the bleeding and sterilize the wounds on his body. Thank you for sending Matt over. My name is Claire Temple. Seeing that Matt was out of danger, Claire held out her hand to the Asian man in front of her. My name is Tianjin Mo. The Asian man shook her hand. In order to match the Nazca memory, Yan Tianjin exchanged ordinary impact factors for several characters from Kamen Rider 01. The highest matching degree is the Tianjin Mo in front of you, up to 96%. Are you Chinese? Exactly. Several people chatted for a while. Matt is very interested in Tianjin Mo. After he had just seen Tianjin Bao land with his own eyes, he lifted his transformation and returned to his human form. This scene surprised him a little. So, that guy is not a god at all, but a pervert who uses Gaia's memory? Claire exclaimed. God? How did he say it with kindness? He's just a traitor on the run. Tianjin Yu shook his fist into the air. Damn. Since he is not a god, it means that he can be killed. Claire asked, her expression sad and indignant. Of course. I came to New York to hunt him down. He has done so much evil that he will definitely be executed by the museum. However, do you have a grudge against him and hate him so much? Tianjin Mo was curious. We have a good friend who was killed by him. Claire gritted her teeth. His name is Luke Cage. He is a very good person. Morning. The three were silent for a while. What is the essence of Gaia's memory? Why can it give the human body great strength? Matt wondered. Sorry, this is a confidential matter. Forgive me for not telling you. Tianjin Yu shook his head. All right. Do you still have much memory? Matt's eyes burned even though he was blind. If he can get the power of memory, then he must be a good street hero. The number of memories has always been scarce, and only the best of the best can qualify for Gaia memory. Moreover, there is a fitness between people and Gaia memories, and using a memory with a low fitness is suicide. Tianjin Yu shook his head. Do you still hire people in the museum? There is no shortage of people in museums. What is lacking is the strong. You are so weak, don't even think about it. Tianjin Mo looked at him pitifully. Haha. Matt, you also have times when you are disliked by others. Claire happily hammered Matt's shoulder. Well, I won't tell you more. I have a tight deadline and must catch this Utopia guy as soon as possible. I'll go first, Tianjin Yu suddenly said. Regardless of the retention of the two, he transformed into a Nazca-doped body again and disappeared into the room in the blink of an eye. I really envy him, he can have such a powerful power. Matt envied. You've done a great job. Claire comforted him, but it's not even close. Matt shook his head, his blind eyes looked out the window. When you see him in the future, you must ask him about the museum's recruitment standards. Phew, midnight. Jessica Jones sat up in horror. Nightmares again. She remembered the golden figure high above her dream just now, and her body couldn't help but tremble. The kind of eyes that wanted to kill her made her unable to forget for a while. Damn. She clenched her fists in distress. What should I do? Grit your teeth and put on your clothes and shoes. She opened the window and jumped out of the room. After teaching two gangsters who deal in drugs, her mood finally improved a lot. For a time, the guilt of Luke Cage's death and the fear of utopian adulteration were much smaller. Go have a drink. Looking at the lip bar not far away, Jessica licked her lips. Although she is not of drinking age, who knows how many drinks she secretly access to the bar. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and the bar is still lively. Several strippers were dancing and a group of people were drinking around them. Are you 18 years old, little girl? The bartender looked at Jessica helplessly. Why, are you still afraid of breaking the law? Jessica rolled her eyes and threw out $100 bill. Bring me 4 glasses of whiskey. Jessica said arrogantly.